Clutch Sports Talk. Let's go. Hey, good evening, everyone. It's me, your boy Ryan Flowers, aka Clutch Sports Talk in the house. Welcome to an evening edition of Clutch Sports Talk NFL Prime. And week one, it's almost not in the books yet. We still got Sunday night and Monday night tomorrow, but I want to break down all of the day's games today and get you guys ready and locked in for the Sunday night game between the LA Rams and the Chicago Bears. But we had a great day this afternoon, this morning in the NFL. So, hey, sit back and relax and enjoy the show. This is Clutch Sports Talk NFL Primetime. You know what I say. Let's go. Welcome back in, man. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are getting ready for the Sunday night game going on, I believe, at 5:20 Pacific Standard Time, so 8:20 Eastern Standard Time. LA Rams, Chicago Bears. Andy Dalton getting the start. LA Rams looking to basically make their mark in the NFC. But hey, we had a great day today. A lot of good games. The second part of the game, the second half of games, some close ones. Miami and New England, the Kansas City and Cleveland Browns game just wrapped up. That was a tight one. A lot to talk about. There's a lot of stuff to unpack today. I mean, just a lot. Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, what the hell happened to them? But before I get into the show, make sure you guys, if you haven't already, hit up my YouTube channel, subscribe, please hit that notifications link. That way you get everything up to date on Clutch Sports Talk. But yes, I am so happy, if you can't tell, that the NFL is back in action, and I'm here to break it down and unpack everything with you guys today, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What did you see today? What was your most stunning thing? What did you learn from a team or a player? Let me know. I want to know everything, and I'll make sure I'll be able to get to all your comments and questions as we go out throughout the show, as I get you guys ready for Sunday Night Football. So, man, I want to start first. Let's start with the last game just now that just ended, the Cleveland Browns and Kansas City Chiefs. Now, again, this morning, I said I'm not a big fan of moral losses, but Cleveland Browns showed me something. I knew they were going to be able to score the football. I said that this morning, and I took the over in that, and I was correct. I knew that they can keep pace with the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs, to me, they're still one of the favorites. But the gap is not as big as most people would think. I think the Cleveland Browns, barring no injuries or significant setbacks, they're going to be tough. Now, obviously, Kansas City now has the head-to-head matchup wins with them now. They beat them the last two times they played, but Cleveland is there. What I was able to see and gather from that game is that defensively, you can't just completely shut down Patrick Mahomes for the most part. I understand that. But look, Patrick Mahomes, he threw for 36 passes, 337, 3 touchdowns. You right? Okay. That's okay. That happens in the NFL. This is a passing league. Quarterbacks are going to get off. That's just what's going to happen, But the Cleveland Browns showed to me they can get after the quarterback. We saw that, and they can run the football. They can run the football. And once you can play defense and run the football, you're going to be a pretty good team in the National Football League. Baker Mayfield threw that late pick in the end. Probably not a good decision. But he's trying to make a play. I get it, but you probably should live to the next down and try, because they were moving the ball. They were moving the ball here in the last minutes of that football game, but they just could not finish the job done. They couldn't get the job done, and the Cleveland Browns head over to Arrowhead. They take the L, but I think they have a lot to kind of reconsider when they get back. I think they're going to be all right. Tyreek Hill, I mean, you can't let Tyreek Hill run wild like that. He went for 197, 1 touchdown, 11 receptions. For the most part, they kept the game within a distance. They just weren't able to make the play. And it boils down to the quarterback. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes made the throws he needed to make, and Baker Mayfield couldn't make the throw that he needed to make. And that eventually was the difference in the game. So, but you can't, if you're a Cleveland fan, you cannot just say, you know what, we can't compete. The Browns can definitely compete. And I think they're going to take the next step, and they're going to start rolling. They're going to start rolling again. But just be on the lookout for the Cleveland Browns. All right. The other late game that wrapped up right before that was the Miami Dolphins head to Foxborough, and they get the 1-point victory over Mac Jones and Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. This one was kind of like it wasn't exciting to watch, I would say, just because it wasn't a lot of up and down running. The scores weren't going up and down. So, but Dolphins, like I said this morning, I thought that they can come in there. They play really good defense. You're going against a rookie quarterback and Mac Jones, and that's exactly what they did. They basically slowed down the game. I mean, Mac Jones still threw for 281, one touchdown, threw 39 times. Tua, I don't have the stats on Tua. Let me get the stats on Tua. I mean, he's probably more pedestrian like too. I mean, really. Yep, that's 2020. I don't want that. I don't want 2020. I want 2021 stats. Probably should have had this ready to go. But either way, it was a type of win that I thought the Dolphins can get away with for the most part because they play good defense. They're smart with the football. Tua didn't have to go out and make a lot of great plays. He just had to make, again, the plays that he needed to make. And that's exactly what he did. So they walk out of there with a win, a divisional win to begin the season for them. Moving along here, a surprising one here was the Eagles. The Eagles early in the morning here, they blew out the Atlanta Falcons. I thought this was going to be a shootout. I don't know what happened to the Atlanta Falcons, because I had picked them to be one of my sleeper teams. It's still early. It's only one game. And Eagles fans, calm down. You beat the Atlanta Falcons, who most people did not expect much from anyway. Jalen Hurts had a good game, 3 touchdowns. Devontae Smith got his first NFL touchdown. Jalen Reagor, the guy that they drafted last year from TCU, had a really good game too. I believe he also got a touchdown. The Falcons, they could not get it going offensively. But the Eagles walk away, and now, they're number one in the division after week 1 so far. But I would not hold on to that too long if you're an Eagles fan, because it's going to come crashing down soon. You're going to have to play legitimate teams. And obviously, I guess the Atlanta Falcons were not a legitimate team yet. A shocker one. This one was real surprising. I did not think the Steelers were going to go into Orchard Park and beat the Buffalo Bills. Again, this is why I don't really consider the Buffalo Bills a strong contender. Josh Allen, really, 270. He threw 51 times, 1 touchdown. I'm not saying it's his fault. It's something about the Buffalo Bills I just don't like. I don't think that they have enough dynamic players to win these close games against really good teams, especially when you get in the playoffs. It's all good teams left for the most part, especially when you get into the divisional round and the conference championship round. They don't have enough players outside of Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. Their running game really is not that sensational. And honestly, if you can take away Stephon Diggs, that's Josh Allen's basically his security blanket. You can kind of phase him out. And as long as you can pass rush the quarterback like they were able to do, the Steelers walked out of there with a surprising win. Ben Roethlisberger did not have a great game, but the Pittsburgh's defense and their special teams, they had a block punt for a touchdown return. That's probably what was the difference in the game. Stephon Diggs only had 9 receptions for 69 yards. Teams can kind of figure out what's going on with them. I think the Bills will be okay. They'll be fine. They'll still be up there. They'll win a lot of football games this year, but I just don't see them as a threat in the AFC. Right now, just off of today, basically, it's the Chiefs and the Browns, and we saw those two go toe-to-toe because they can answer the call for each other in regards to scoring, and that's where we're at. But the Bills, to me, they're not a team that I'm really like pencil them in the conference championship, because I just there's something about them they just lack for me, and I'm just not feeling them at this moment. Another game which was pretty interesting. It was the Vikings and the Bengals. It took place in Cincinnati. I picked the Vikings to win just because they can score. But the Vikings just, I don't know. I don't know what to say about the Vikings. I knew, but I did also say, side note, that I can potentially see the Bengals staying in this game. It's at home. Joe Burrow's back. Joe Mixon had a great game, rushed for 127, won a touchdown. Joe Burrow had a good game too. Kirk Cousins, Jamar Chase, finally, he caught some balls, 5 receptions for 101. So he did a good job today. And the Bengals sneak out that win against the Vikings. The Vikings are not a good team. They're just not a good team right now. They still have some concerns to me. Offensively, yes, I get they do have some weapons in Jefferson, Thielen, and Cook, but defensively, I just don't understand. And pass rush, they don't have a pass rush. And so if you're a Vikings fan, you're probably a little concerned in that game if you were watching it. What else you can say about that? Another game, a head scratcher. The 49ers, they ended up beating Detroit, but they let them back in. So I think they were like 9.5 favorites. They didn't cover, but this game they should have covered. It was like 41-13 at one point, but the Lions to me are the same old Lions. It doesn't matter if you get a new head coach who wants to audition for WWE. They're still the Lions. Jared Goff is what he is. We knew he's not terrible, but he's not the guy that's going to go out there and just resurrect a franchise. You got to consider he was in LA with a very talented roster and a great head coach, and they couldn't get the job done. They wanted him out of there. The first thing smoking out of LA, they ship him off to Detroit. It's just not going to work out for the Detroit Lions. And the Lions, the Niners, I think they just got comfortable and they let these guys back in. I think the Niners should have they throttled the Lions. The 49ers throttled them. I mean, there's nothing more I can say about that. The Niners are definitely a team that you still want to be on the lookout. I mean, they have so many weapons. I mean, Brandon Ayuk really didn't do much today. Deebo Samuel went off. He had 189, one touchdown. I mean, they're playing. Another surprising team out the NFC West, Arizona Cardinals. This was a game that I said this morning the Cardinals needed to go out and win to make a statement. Because typically in these type of situations, we've been talking about the Cardinals trying to make that jump, every year. Like, oh, this year. Well, this is the type of win that gives me confidence in Arizona Cardinals. Not only did they win, they pretty much dismantled the Tennessee Titans. At one point, it was like in the third quarter, Derrick Henry only had 9 rushing yards. I believe he finished with like 57 yards. That's really good. And Chandler Jones went off. He had 5 sacks. I saw J.J. Watt get out there getting after it. He had a couple pressures as well. Their defense was tremendous. I think they forced like 3 or 4 turnovers. And Kyler Murray is a magician back there. He's back there just, weaving, moving around, making sick throws. Okay, it's week 1. I get it. But this was a win that they needed to get in a notch that they needed to get just to give themselves some confidence that they can go on the road and beat a playoff team in the Tennessee Titans. Now, is it over for the Tennessee Titans? No, because your division isn't that great, and I'll talk about that here in a second when I get to the Colts. But you're a playoff team. They have good bones. They have a good foundation there. Derrick Henry won't. It's not too often he's going to get stopped like that. It just doesn't happen a lot. But the Arizona Cardinals came to play, and you saw that today. What's the stat line on that? I mean, Kyler Murray. 4 touchdowns. 4 touchdowns. DeAndre Hopkins, he had 2 touchdowns out of those 4 thrown by Kyler Murray. So, I'm not going to say the Cardinals are going to win the division. Again, it's still week 1, folks. It's still week 1, so we have to temper our expectations. But there's definitely something brewing in Glendale, Arizona, and the Cardinals they might be making that next step because that's a big win. When you want to be a good championship football team, you got to be able to go on the road and bring the show and win those types of games, and they did so today. Sticking with the NFC West teams, the Seattle Seahawks, like I thought, they went into Indianapolis and they took care of business. I'm not going to say it was Carson Wentz's fault why the Colts lost. He didn't really do much. He did what he was supposed to do, I guess. They couldn't protect him, which was very surprising from the onset. With Quentin Nelson being back, I thought, like I said this morning, we think that the Colts they probably have the best offensive line in the National Football League, at least top 3. They couldn't get the job done. Carson Wentz was pressured. He was forced to move out of the pocket. They just couldn't get anything going. And this is quite concerning for the Indianapolis Colts because they're good defensively, but they didn't show that today. But again, you're playing Russell Wilson in the beginning of the season, and that's exactly what I thought, and that's why I picked them as one of my clutch picks today to Seattle to go in because Seattle is very good in the beginning of the season. They always are, it seems like, in the last couple of years, and they went on the road. I mean, Chris Carson did a great job, 6 rushes for 91 yards. Russell Wilson, 254 for 4 touchdowns. Tyler Lockett had a sensational catch first of all, the ball was thrown perfectly in an area only where Tyler Lockett could get it. He literally had to come over his shoulder and catch it. It was a great dime by Russell Wilson. So doesn't and what can I say more about Seattle Seahawks? They always start great. The Colts, they have to get back to the drawing board. Like I said, it's not on Carson Wentz today why they lost. But he wasn't really that dynamic either. But they couldn't protect him. They couldn't protect him, and that was an issue today. And the Seattle Seahawks get the job done today in Indianapolis. All right. One of my other picks today for the Clutch Sports week 1 picks is the Chargers and the Washington. I had the Washington football team winning it. It was close, but Justin Herbert and the Chargers took care of business in late in the game, and they walk away 20-16. Some things that stuck out. Herbert is legit, and the Cowboys are going to have to be on the lookout for him next week. He threw for 337 in face of a superior pass rush. Now, they got to him a few times. They pressured him. They forced a turnover, but he still bounced back. He was able to hook up with Keenan Allen very late in some key situations down the stretch, and they end up winning the game over the Washington football team, which, again, They travel to the East, which for a lot of West Coast teams, that's very hard to do. And they pick up the win. And their new head coach, he gets his first win as a head coach in the National Football League. All right. The next matchup is the New York Jets and the Carolina Panthers. This one was interesting. The Panthers went up like 16-0. The Jets actually shown, some fight towards the end. Zach Wilson made some pretty good plays. They just couldn't protect him. And I believe, I don't know what the report is on their left tackle, Becton. He left the game with a lower leg injury. I don't know what his status is, but it didn't look good. He was crying, had the towel over the head, and that's an indication that it's probably not going to be good. So we're going to have to see what they're going to do to keep him upright. But, not bad for his debut. Didn't get the win, but Sam Darnold did his thing too. He's 24 for 35. He gets the revenge on his old team. But you can see, though, once he has weapons, he's a better player, right? He's a better player. Christian McCaffrey, only 21 carries, which is good. They didn't overuse him, but again, they kind of let him back in the game. You're going to have to see them progress as we keep going on when they play better teams. But overall, good win for the Carolina Panthers. And I'm not sure if some of you have seen it on social media. They got this cool, like, opening, I don't know, what do you call it? Like an opening video where it's like a Panther and it looks like he's in the stadium. I don't know. Go on Google, YouTube it. I don't know. It looked pretty sick to me. So check that out. But, the Jets, I mean, they added Corey Davis. I believe he had 2 touchdowns. They showed some promise too. On defense, they got after the ball. That's not going to be a problem for them. It's just can they put points on the board? I mean, they had no points up until the third quarter, and then that's when they kind of got rolling. And you can't put it all on your defense. Obviously, the Jets' strength right now is the defense, right? Until Zach Wilson can maybe figure some things out and they can get more points on the board. But right now, they're going to have to figure out a way to generate those points a lot quicker rather than later, especially when you play good teams like in their division, such as, the Patriots. The Patriots are a good team, they lost it, and the Miami Dolphins, right? So that's things they're going to have to work on. So it's still early. We don't know a lot about Zach Wilson yet, but I think what I saw is that he took some big hits. He bounced back. I think they're going to be okay. Is he the guy? I don't know yet. But anyway, all right. Moving on, the Jaguars and Texans. I'm not sure why the Jaguars were favorite, so I took the easy money and I bet the Texans to win the game, and they came through for me. They were plus 3.5. I took them. I was like, they're going to win this football game. There's no doubt in my mind. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is kind of hit or miss with him. I believe he had 3 interceptions, 3 touchdowns. You throw 51 times, you're going to have a bunch of yards. They gave up a lot of points. They gave up a lot of points to Urban Meyer. There's a lot of reports saying that out of Jacksonville that he gets irate real quick. So I'm not sure if it's going to work out for him because we all know that, at some point he's going to have some type of health condition and he's going to be out. Wasn't a big fan of him getting hired as an NFL coach, but we're going to have to wait and see. Tyrod Taylor did a pretty good job today. Mark Ingram ran the ball really well. That's a sneaky pickup for the Houston Texans. I'm not saying that they're going to win, but I win a lot, but they're not going to be last. The Jaguars are going to be dead last in this division, and I was right for picking them today. As far as this division is concerned, the AFC South, Tennessee took a blow. They took a loss today. The Colts took a loss. There are concerns for both of those teams in the NFC South. I think the Tennessee Titans still have a little bit more of an edge, but I can see the Colts maybe bouncing back. But again, the question surrounds Carson Wentz. Is he going to be available? Especially if they can't protect him. If they can't protect him, he's going to take a lot of hits, and he's probably going to end up getting hurt anyway. All right. The next game, I take that back. I'm going to go to this one. The Broncos and Giants, another one that I picked. This wasn't a game that I picked for my clutch picks, but I kind of said in my show earlier this morning that the Broncos would win this game, and that's exactly what they did. Daniel Jones, pretty pedestrian. It was all right, 267. The Broncos did exactly what they were supposed to. They played really strong defense. Teddy Bridgewater didn't turn the ball over, and that's basically how they won. They took advantage of what they need to take advantage of, and that's how they ended up winning this game. Not much to say about this game other than the fact that, the Broncos are going to play very, what's the word? Not competitive football, complementary football, meaning they're going to play good defense. They're not going to turn the ball over, and special teams are going to be key. And that's how they're going to win a lot of games. But when you're playing the Giants, you don't need to be that dynamic. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't know, I don't remember seeing Saquon in this game. Oh no, he was. He with 10 yards to 10 carries for 26 yards. Really not much for him out there. I mean, no interceptions by either quarterback. It's just the fact that they just were a little bit more dynamic than the New York Football Giants. So I think the Giants will be okay because they play pretty solid defense. Um, but it's week one, people. It's week one. Melvin Gordon had a good game. He rushed for 11 yards. Excuse me, 11 attempts, 101 yards, one touchdown. And as I was watching this game, he had like a 69 or 70-yard touchdown, which was pretty crazy right there. So, but the other game that I wanted to talk about, and this one has a lot of ramifications, big time ramifications for a whole organization, and that's the Green Bay Packers. They stunk it up today against the New Orleans Saints. So credit to New Orleans Saints because I left them for dead. I did not think that they were going to win this game, considering they haven't been able to be in their facility because of Hurricane Ida. They have to go to Jacksonville. Does not show up. Now, there's two things that I think could have happened here in this game, and I don't want anything from the Saints because they did Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston did a hell of a job. I mean, he didn't throw a lot. I mean, they limited his throwing attempts. He only threw 20 times for 148 yards, but he had 5 touchdowns, but no interceptions. No interceptions. But what they did do is they ran the ball effectively by committee. They had about 2 or 3 guys running the football. But the big thing is no turnovers, but Aaron Rodgers had 2 turnovers and Jordan Love was put into the game. Aaron Rodgers did not play well at all, as I'm looking at the stats here. But the Saints did what they needed to do. They got after Aaron Rodgers too as well. So and their secondary played a really big part in them winning to today. But here's the thing: what I want to unpack with the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers. This is why I think that they probably should have just traded him. I think what happened is maybe the Green Bay Packers, his teammates, probably giving up on him. They're probably saying, you know what, this guy's out of here anyway, and he's openly talking about that. I don't know if a lot of you watched the interview today that he had that aired on Fox NFL. He's very open and adamant about his feelings towards the management there. Not necessarily, I don't think he has a problem with the players, but look, they all know he's a lamed up quarterback, and for the most part, he is out of there when the season's over. And maybe today he just gave up. We've seen him just giving up before. And if I'm on his team, I'm like, dude, why do I care about this guy? I think honestly, right now, the best decision for the Green Bay Packers is to just trade this guy, cut him, do whatever you got to do. Because I think at the end of the day, this whole last dance theory that everyone thought he's going to come in and rip it up. Now, it's still early, and I don't want to overreact, but you cannot lose, 38-3? 38-3 in a national football game, and you're the reigning MVP. That's not a good look. Or honestly, maybe he's just completely given up too, and he don't care. And maybe he's forcing their hand by playing so badly. I mean, look, the guy really didn't. I mean, he threw 28 times. The average yards per attempt. The average yards per attempt, 4.8. I take that back. I'm sorry. Yeah, 4.8. I mean, really, he didn't do anything. 2 interceptions. I mean, he had more interceptions than Jameis Winston. So think about that, right? If I were to tell you that 2 years ago that Jameis Winston would have no turnovers or no interceptions and Aaron Rodgers would have, you would have laughed at me. You would have been like, dude, you're crazy. Get the hell out of here. But that's exactly what happened today. They didn't really get any production from anybody else other than Devontae Adams only had five receptions, 56 yards, no touchdown. They didn't have it going. Now we're gonna see what they're gonna do, because their beginning of their schedule is pretty tough. They're gonna have to bounce back, and I'm gonna learn more about this team next week because here's the thing, they if they've completely given up, then Aaron Rodgers is gonna be out of there sooner than later, and I think it's probably best for them, that they get him out of there immediately, especially if he becomes a distraction. Because the good thing for them is that they have the Detroit Lions next week, Monday, but the way they play today, the Lions could probably beat them. And then after that, you got San Francisco, Pittsburgh. Those are not easy wins. Cincinnati may prove to be a tough out too as well. Chicago, Washington, Arizona. So, they're going to have some games here that they're going to have to figure it out. But I think two things either happen. Aaron Rodgers is just completely done, and he doesn't care. I mean, it seems like he's more interested in talking about his disgruntledness towards the organization than actually possibly playing. I mean, and then or his teammates just giving up on him. And either way, it's a bad situation. And They should have moved him. They should have moved him. But they're trying to squeeze whatever they can get out of him. But honestly, they probably should have just moved off from him, reset the locker room, get everybody in there that wants to be there, because you have a guy that doesn't want to be there, period. And that's a problem. And as an organization, you can't allow that. You got to move off from him. If not, it's going to start to spiral quickly. And that's something that you don't want to have as management for the Green Bay Packers. So, but kudos to the New Orleans Saints, man. I did not have them winning today. I just didn't have them winning today. I mean, really. So, all right, moving right along, man. Before we get locked in for this LA Rams Chicago Bears game kicking off in about 20 minutes or so, here's a recap of my picks of the week. I actually did pretty good. I went 3 for 1, 3-1, right? I picked Seattle to win. They won and they covered. The Washington football team, they didn't cover. They were covering at one point. So, but again, no moral victory, no moral losses over here. The Texans, they won, so I picked them to win. I put plus 35. I forgot. I should have put the money line there, but I did pick them to win. It's recorded. And I had the Kansas City Chiefs and Browns on the over, and I believe they scored like 60 points combined. So I did good. So, I'm going to pat myself on the back just a little bit, just a little bit, because people don't realize how hard it is to pick games, right? And I'm not going to be the guy that's going to pick like 10 games, right? I'm just not going to do that. I'm going to pick 4 every week, and I'm going to do my research, and that's exactly what I did. And I'm not just picking winners and losers. I'm picking point spreads, and both teams. I went 3-1. The 3 teams, everything covered. So that's what betting is all about, and I was able to do that today. So maybe I know a little something, but it is week 1. It is week 1. I still have room to grow, just like a lot of other teams in the NFL have room to grow. So all right, here we go. Sunday Night Football, LA Rams, Chicago Bears at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. The Wood, as it's referrably called for people in LA. Not really. I don't really call it the Wood. I'm from LA. I call it Inglewood. But anywho, Rams -8 favorite from the last odds that I saw. Total 45, which I if you want to bet this game, I can see this game being under easily just by 40, because I don't think the Bears are going to generate a lot of offense. And the Rams, they're not a team that's going to light up. Sean McVay likes to run the football a lot. And what does that mean? Well, if they're running the football, they're grinding down the clock. They'll score points, but I just don't see them getting after it like that, like how I thought the Chiefs and the Browns were going to go off like that today. The problem what I have with this game today is that the Bears, I just don't get it. I just don't get why Justin Fields won't get out there. And I talked about it this morning. And I really feel like they need to be thinking about the future. Andy Dalton, definitely, he won't even be there. He won't even be the starter that long. Put the kid out. I pray to God that he goes out today. I mean, not goes out and get hurt. I'm talking about Justin Fields. I pray that we get to see Justin Fields. Not only, number one, is it the right move for that organization? Number two, as a consumer, I would rather see Justin Fields versus the Rams defense than Andy Dalton. I'm a fan of football, so I'm going to watch the game. Of course, I have to watch this game to give you guys informative information, but I would rather see Justin Fields, And as far as the Rams are concerned, this is a good game for them to open up with. They should easily win this game. They should easily win this game. Now, I don't think that they're one of the top teams. I mean, they're a top team. I'll take that back. But a lot of people have them in the Super Bowl. I don't see them in the Super Bowl. They lost a lot on the back end, and we saw that today in Cleveland with Troy Hill. He's in the secondary now for the Cleveland Browns, and John Johnson, he's there in Cleveland. Outside of Jalen Ramsey, I don't know, man. I don't think they can get it done. I don't think they can get it done. And obviously, Aaron Donald is a beast. But again, defensive guys like that, they don't win these Super Bowls. And is Matthew Stafford the guy that's going to take them over the top? I don't know, man. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens with that, because look, defenses win championships. It does in the end. And we've seen that over and over. You can see great teams with great offenses, but it's something about those defenses, man. If they can lock you down or slow you down just a little bit, you can win a lot of football games. Hell, you'll win championships. We saw that last year in Tampa Bay in the Chiefs. Granted, the Chiefs' offensive line was just in shatters, or just messed up because of the guys that they lost prior to the game. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were able to just run roughshod right over them and get to Patrick Mahomes and limiting him to no touchdowns in that game in the Super Bowl, which is just crazy. But to me, the Rams are a safe team. They're a safe team. Like they'll win a lot of games. They'll be competitive. They won't get blown out, because they're a great coach. It's a great organization. But to me, do they have enough? Again, always goes back to dynamic players. And the teams that win championships have dynamic players across the board. Now, they have two really dynamic defensive players, guys that are like game changers, but offensively, do they have that? I don't think so. I like their receiving core. They have some really solid guys there. The running back's not so dynamic. The quarterback is not so dynamic. Head coaching is good, but within that division, I still like the Niners winning that division. So tonight should be an easy win for them. If they struggle at all with the Chicago Bears, that should be concerning. But please, Matt Nagy, I know you're not watching this because you're getting ready to take the field. Please play Justin Fields. Please play this dude, man, because I don't want to see Andy Dalton. Been there, done that, know what he's about. All right. Before I get out of here, because I'll probably talk about this tomorrow night too as well on my Cut Sports Talk live show. But here's the odds and the spread for this game, the Sunday night game tomorrow. Ravens and Raiders opening up the Monday Night Football season here in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. You know what? I like the Raiders in this game. And I don't like the Raiders, but I like the Raiders in this game, if that makes any sense. I think, the last time we saw the Raiders on Monday Night Football, they had a very spirited win against the New Orleans Saints last year to open up the season here in Las Vegas. And trust me, and now there was no crowd there, right? This tomorrow night, it's going to be stupid tomorrow. It's going to be stupid at Allegiant Stadium. All those Raider fans are going to be flooding in, messing up the 15 freeway for me so I can get to where I need to get to tomorrow night. So I got to leave early. But look, the Raiders, are they great? No. But the Ravens, dude, they're down. I forgot. They had to pick up guys off the street like Le'Veon Bell and Devontae Freeman and Latavius Murray. Like, listen, Le'Veon Bell, this is what kills me with people sometimes. Oh, Le'Veon Bell, man, they picked him up. Oh, they picked up Devontae Freeman. Listen to me real quickly. I'm looking into the camera. Those guys were good, but they're not good anymore. Because if they were good, they would have been on their teams already, right? All right, so leave it at Le'Veon Bell. You were good at one point when you were in Pittsburgh. But since then, when you sat out, you're done. You're washed. You're 31 years old. It's over for you. Move on. Now, I'll be here. I'll be the first to give you credit if you do good. But let's be realistic. If you had anything left in the tank, someone would have signed you already. Devontae Freeman, another guy, had a pretty good career. He got his money in Atlanta and he just dipped. He faded. He's not on the team anymore, right? All right, Latavius Murray, he still, I think he's in his 30s as well. He shared the backfield with Alvin Kamara, which worked in his benefit. But what the Ravens are going to be asking these guys to do, they're asking them to be the number one guys because they lost like 3 or 4 running backs in the last 2 weeks due to ACL injuries and Marcus Peters. It's going to be too much for them to overcome. And that's why I like the Raiders to win in an emotional home opener here in Las Vegas. The problem with the Raiders is their defense. So we're going to see now they have a new defensive coordinator. We're going to see if they kind of righted that ship because they've invested on the defensive side the last couple drafts. I'm still not sure what they're trying to do because 1 minute they want like high character guys, and then they bring in guys like Montez Burfict a couple years ago, Richie Incognito, who really, for the most part, he's been quiet to his credit. He hasn't really said much. So not sure what the Raiders want to do, but this is a put up or shut up time. Well, not really. More so for Mike Mayock, the GM, because Gruden he's on the hook for 10 years. So I'm pretty sure they're not going to fire him. He's still got he's going into his third year of a 10-year contract. So he's got 7 years. So I do like the Raiders as an underdog, a home underdog in this game. If you're going to bet this one, you might call me in tomorrow or Tuesday and be like, bro, I appreciate you for giving me that information. Not to say that this game will be close, but I think it might turn into a shootout. The Raiders can score. Okay. And the Ravens are missing some key defensive players. I mean, Marcus Peters is out, right? Their number one corner, right? Arguably. They lost Matthew Judon to the Patriots, another key figure in their defense. So he's gone. So the Ravens, obviously they're down to like running backs that were working at Home Depot, right? So who knows? We got our commenter there. Raiders by 6, controlling the call and second, letting the receivers get behind them. Okay, Raiders by 6. I don't understand what the other part of that message was, but okay, Raiders by 6. Cool. Alex Usher, appreciate you. And I don't like the Raiders. I do not. I despise the Raiders, but I am a very rational individual. And for the sake of me picking, I like the Raiders in this game. I could be wrong. They probably will be the typical Raiders and lose, but I can see them winning this game. So I'm probably going to put money on the Raiders tomorrow as well to win this game. The game total, I think the game total can go over 51. So if you want to just bet the total point spread, I can see that as well. This is going to be a very entertaining game. I think I love it when they set games like this, because this obviously the Raiders have a very, very huge following. The Ravens, they're pretty good too. My boy Bryson Carver, all feels right in the world. Football is back. Yes, you are right, my friend. And I hope you made it back from your trip safely. So that's good to see you, man. Can't wait to see your show. I believe you're in Monday, tomorrow too, as well. But yeah, so anyway, so pick the Raiders. I like them tomorrow. And as far as this game's concerned tonight, the Sunday night game, it's going to be Rams. Even if you're a Bears fan, you got to be realistically, you guys are probably not going to win. You don't have enough. So I do like Allen Robinson, but it just is what it is. So, but that's it. That's all I got, man. That's today's events. So a lot to unpack, a lot to put up. But week 1 is back. Football is officially back. It all feels good. Like my boy Bryson Carver from the Carving Up podcast says, it's all good in the hood, as they would say. And I'm so excited. I can't wait to watch this game tonight and Monday night's game. And get you guys ready for next week Sunday. So enjoyed tonight's game, man. I hope you guys had a great evening. I hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure you hit me up on YouTube. Do it now, right now, not now, but right now. And make sure you catch my live show, Clutch Sports Talk Live with me, Ryan Flowers, tomorrow, airing at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, as I'll be recapping all this other stuff today that I talked about, as well get you up to date on everything else sports related in the world. So that's all I got. Enjoy your evening. This is your boy Ryan Flowers, aka Clutch Sports Talk. This was Clutch Sports Talk NFL Primetime. You guys know what it is. Never settle till the work is done. Good night.